Today, the moon continues in Gemini, where we focus on communication, thinking, ideas, language, maybe a little bit of writing. And we're in the midst of some changes. In case you haven't felt the upheaval yourself personally, the vibes around us are changing. We've got Venus went into Scorpio yesterday. Mars recently went into Sagittarius. Uranus, outer planet, later today retrogrades back into Taurus. We've got two planets going retrograde next week. Let's break it down. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Friday, November 7th. So, first of all, thinking about today and the vibe of the day, the mood of the day is Gemini. So, if you've been having themes of communication coming up. In fact, just as we're heading into the upcoming Mercury retrograde season, we have had some Mercury energies present with us. And so I don't know about you, but it feels like Mercury is already retrograde to me. It has all week. Maybe that's because of the Uranus energies being activated, sort of that theme of things being shaken up, not really knowing where to stand. And really, that's how my whole week has felt. I don't know about you, but it has felt destabilized. Like it's hard to orient myself because every time I figure out where I am, something else changes and points me in a new direction or demands my attention. So, that may help you understand some of the energies that have been present. We have that Gemini moon today, bringing a focus to communication, but also technology and information and how we receive information. So, looking deeper and so yesterday the moon joined up with Uranus in Gemini, and we still have Mars in Sagittarius opposing Uranus, which is going back into Taurus later today. So if I lost you and all that, don't worry. The point is here that we are dealing with this Uranus energy being activated yesterday by the moon, uh, currently ongoing by an opposition between Mars, but also Mercury, and Mercury is going to go retrograde on the 9th, going backwards through that opposition to Uranus again. So lots of energy that is having a hard time sort of settling and finding its place. We have Venus now in Scorpio. So that takes us into that deeper place of desires and truth and needing to be honest about what moves us, what motivates us, what we want at deeper levels, connecting with others. Venus often speaks to relationships and what we need in relationship, what makes us feel good. And so that deeper Scorpio place says, I'm not going to be happy with the superficial material types of ways to make me happy. I'm going to want that deeper feeling of emotional connection and trust and intimacy and moving into a process that ultimately can lead to healing by being more honest, more truthful with ourselves and another, whether that's a romantic partner or someone else who is significant in your life. So, taking relationships to that deeper level, and we are, of course, in a Libra moon cycle that began with the Libra new moon. So, the moon is now waning. We are in the second half of that moon cycle, but throughout the moon cycle, since the last new moon, we have this theme that we are working on that has to do with relationships, balance, how we seek balance, inner harmony and outer harmony. So, how we get along with others, how we work together to be able to cooperate and accomplish things collaboratively. So, that experience of partnership. So, that's a background theme we are working through in this moon cycle. And with Venus now in Scorpio, we're diving a little deeper, right? We are going into some unknown territory or going into a little bit of the deeper parts of our psyches, deeper parts of ourselves to ultimately bring about a deeper feeling of connection, right? That's the goal. So when we do that deeper work of listening to our deeper needs, our deeper truth, and that ability to be honest first and foremost with ourselves and then also with someone else, we have that opportunity to deepen some sort of connection, right? Whether it's romantic or, the ability to work together creatively or whatever it may be. But it's deep, right? It's not superficial. So it's meaningful, it's significant. And this healing process allows us, if we are showing up for the work of transformation, it allows us to go into deep, to co create more powerfully, to go into a deeper process of what we can create together and be more powerful together. So, those themes are here with us as well. And finally, we have Uranus today, later in the day. I wanna say it is, around 6 p.m.-ish. I don't have the exact minute here, but sometime between about 5:30 and about 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, Uranus retrogrades back into Taurus. Now, I've been talking about the outer planets and how we have three outer planets, if you count Saturn, outer planets this year that have gone into new signs and retrograding back into the previous signs. So the first two to retrograde back were Saturn and Neptune have retrograded from Aries back to Pisces. So we're finishing up some of the work, some of the unfinished business in Pisces, and going back to what is the dream? How do we need to imagine more fully? How can we connect with our spiritual needs? That's some of the unfinished business that we are retrograding back to say, okay, this is needs some attention still. There's an opportunity here to get this even more solid before both planets direct into Aries, where we're into action and new beginnings. Okay, so that will happen early next year with Saturn and Neptune, but now we've got Uranus retrograding back from where it has been visiting in Gemini, retrograding back into Taurus to complete some unfinished business in Taurus. So we will feel this energy just the way we felt it when Neptune and Saturn retrograded back into Pisces. It's like, okay, here is this unfinished work that we really need to take seriously, and we can't just ignore it and sweep it under the rug and hope it all goes away. We actually need to attend to our ability to dream and imagine the future, to connect with our spiritual needs, our bigger picture principles, right? We're going back to that place where we need to connect with our hearts, with a bigger picture of meaning. All of this is going to serve us as those planets go back to Aries, where we start something new, very much at a new beginning feeling for next year. We had a little bit of it this year, but even more so next year. All right, now Uranus going back to Taurus, retrograding back to Taurus, is we're going to feel that as well. So we're going to feel that need to attend to what is changing and where normalcy has been disrupted and may need yet to be disrupted further. So we may find over the next few months that even more of what we have come to depend on, come to count on, is going to destabilize, right? I don't know whether it will crumble or change or what that might look like. There's different ways it can look, and there's lots of things going on in the world, obviously. So, but as Uranus has been in Taurus, we have had to let go of some deeply held assumptions about how things work and what to expect and what we can depend on. Okay, so that is where we are going back to revisit a little bit more of that. How do we step into the new version of normal? What does that look like? What is it calling us to? How is it inviting us to step into our authenticity and step up to the process of change, even when we don't have those go-tos, the things that we normally can count on, and the systems and structures that are normally there to hold us. So we have to kind of improvise, right? We have to figure it out. And it's not always easy or fun in the moment, right? But in the long run, it can serve us if we work with that energy to imagine new stability, right? To see what does that new normal look like? How can we imagine it, especially with Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and that theme of imagination? But also, how can we go through the the outcome focused emphasis of Taurus to say, what do we want this to look like? What new ways are we going to find to depend on? What's going to give us stability in the midst of instability, right? What does that future potentially look like? And how can we step into our gifts and our authenticity to help to make it so? So that is the work of Uranus going back into Taurus. So it will, of course, start out at 29 degrees Taurus. And we've had all these planets just hovering around 29.0, that point of transition where one sign ends and the next one begins. So 29 degrees of one sign, then a planet goes into 0 degrees of the next. Or if it's retrograde, it's the opposite. It will go from 0 degrees of one sign back to 29 degrees of the previous. So at any rate, we have a lot of that going on. Some of it currently. So we've got Neptune, and once Uranus returns to Taurus, Neptune and Taurus at 29 degrees of Pisces, and Neptune and Uranus at 29 degrees of Pisces and Taurus. We also have, the early 1 degree Aquarius Pluto. We have the 2 degree Sagittarius Mars. Anyway, the point is we're in transition. Some of it looking back, some of it moving forward, all of it in flux. So take a deep breath. Remind yourself you are doing your best, right? It is going to at times look like you're not getting it right simply because it is in the process of change. And so that's okay. You don't have to get it right every day. You're getting it right in the bigger picture if you're staying true and listening to yourself and showing up for your own healing process. So that's what I've got for you today. We'll talk more about Uranus back in Taurus as that continues on. It will be in Taurus for several months into 2026 and then back in Gemini. So we've had a little bit of that shake up in the Gemini sphere of new ideas and new thinking, but there will be more to come toward especially the second half of 2026. So stay tuned. Thank you for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You could book a reading with me at astrologyheals.com and find more fascinating articles and transcripts and content and discounts on readings and guided meditations, all kinds of things at transformationalastrology.com, my member site. And you can sign up for a free or paid account there. So I very much appreciate your financial contribution to support this work, and it helps a ton. And thank you for being here. So $5 a month gets you savings on readings, free guided meditation, and other perks like commenting on articles and so on and so forth. So I'm continuing to build that. And stay tuned. I'm excited about what's going to be coming. Thanks for being here. Thank you for subscribing to this YouTube channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.